dear friends, how are you all doing? My name is August. This is Cozy Rosy Reads, and today I am using my TBR challenge jar to pick the 10 books that I'm gonna be reading in the month of August. I am so geeked, so jazzed to be using my TBR jar once again to pick the books that I'm going to be reading in a month. This is honestly the most fun thing in the world for me. I love not knowing what my monthly TBR is going to be and letting all of these different challenges and prompts decide for me. So in here, if you're new here, I have so many different challenges and prompts. Some of them are like the color of the book cover I need to read, or a random letter of the alphabet that I then need to correspond with the first word or title of a book. Some of them are a little bit more in depth, like actual challenges, and some of them are pretty difficult to find out. So I'm really excited. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm just so jazzed for this. So I'm gonna pick 10 prompts from this beautiful little jar, and we go from there. Those will be the 10 books that I read in the month of August. What's especially fun about this go around is that I'm leaving for vacation like next week already. I can't believe it. This jar is gonna tell me what books I'm gonna bring with me on my week-long vacation, and I'm so jazzed for that. There is something so incredibly special about reading specific books while on vacation, because every time you think about that book, then you're gonna remember the fond memories of that trip and like where you were and the setting you were in when you read it and the feelings it gave you. There's something so freaking magical about that to me, so I'm extra excited for this month. And if you're new here as well, I do have a few additional kind of rules for myself. If I pick a prompt that is not applicable to my physical TBR, because these challenges are only for physical TBR, they go back in the jar for another time to when they can potentially be applicable. I will pick 10 books. I am allowed to redraw later down the line if those books are really not calling to me, because I am not into self-sabotage. Okay, I had to redo my July TBR because those books were not calling to me, and that was totally fine. But I'm hoping that this go around will excite me, will just like bring about this like joyous, exuberant feeling that I get when I get to like figure out what books I'm gonna bring, and they're books that I genuinely really want to read. And then if I don't finish those books in the month, I don't push them for the next month. I do have to put them back on my shelf. So it's also a matter of me prioritizing what books I want to read and trying to fit in as many books as I can, especially if I really want to read them. So that being said, I believe that covers just about everything, I think. Let's go ahead and pick the first prompt. We're gonna do one at a time. Gonna give it a little shake. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous, but I get so excited. I love this stuff so much. The first prompt of the month of August is, it's kind of chunky. Oh, a book with an animal on the cover or in the title. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Okay, I definitely have a lot we can choose from. So I'm gonna pull all of them out and then decide from there, because I don't even really know what I have. Let's see, friends. We have A Bird in the Hand by Cleaves. This is a book that was originally chosen for my July TBR. It is a murder mystery that follows bird watchers, but I did not get around to it because I did decide to redo my entire July TBR, but is a bird on the cover, so, and in the title. Ooh, now I'm questioning myself. Do I include insects, or do I have a separate prompt in here for insects on the cover? I honestly can't remember. We have Green Cane and Juicy Flotsam, which are short stories by Caribbean women. That's pretty summery. We have I and Claudius, Travels with My Cat. There is a cat on the front and cat in the title by Claire DeVries. Oh my god, I was honestly hoping that this one would fit into my August TBR. Oh my god, Reindeer Moon by Elizabeth Marshall Thomas. As soon as I picked this up, I thought like how wonderful this would be to be able to read on vacation. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna go with this one because I totally forgot. Yes! So there is a reindeer on the cover and a reindeer on the title. Frickin' love these animals, the prehistoric kind of reindeer. Like, they are frickin' terrifying. They are called megalocerises. I think I'm pronouncing that, or Saros. Go Google them, they're freaking terrifying and I love it. But this is a book that is set in prehistoric times, and it follows a female protagonist as she lives in this tribe or clan of Siberian prehistoric people. And then it also talks about some of the kind of like folklore and almost like magical realism of different like shamans and tribes people, and the magical realism that happens but in prehistoric Siberia. I cannot wait. I got this book for 50 cents at a used bookstore and I've just been so geeked to read it. Like, this is a really big 5-star prediction for me. And oh my gosh, we even have this like beautiful map on the inside. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm really excited. Yay! Success! Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is going to be my first pick for August. I'm so excited. I don't know what it is maybe about this book and pairing it with my upcoming vacation, because we're going to be staying in a mountain cabin in Virginia, surrounded by trees, surrounded by a national forest, overlooks the mountain view, like just so earthy and like cozy. I feel like this is like the most perfect kind of cozy book to read on vacation. It also sounds really thrilling, maybe literary fiction. I'm not sure what this will feel like as I start reading it. Oh my god, holy crap, I'm so jazzed for this. Yes. Oh my gosh, there we go. I'm so happy. Okay, let's pick our next prompt. Prompt number 2. Another longer one, author's last name letter generator. Ooh, okay. I need to grab my laptop for this one, and we're gonna do a little random letter generator wheel, and whatever letter it lands on, that needs to be the author's last name. Got my laptop handy here. Let's do a random letter generator. Let's do picker wheel. This one always gets really loud. Let's turn it down. A to Z, spin. Z. Okay, do I have any authors whose last name begins with Z? Oh my gosh, I do. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And that is Sour Heart by Jenny Zhang. This is a collection of short stories that I have been saving for the summertime. This is perfect. These are a collection of short stories that follow Chinese American experience through feminine eyes. So it follows these adolescent girls' hilarious experience of adolescence through the eyes of Chinese American girls growing up in New York City. Her stories cut across generations and continents, moving from the frat halls of a public school in Flushing, Queens, to the tumultuous streets of Shanghai, China, during the Cultural Revolution in the 1960s. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I've been saving this for the summertime, so I've been really hoping that I could get around to it in the summer. This is freaking perfect. I'm so excited. I found this copy at Dollar Tree, brand new, for $1. I really adore this cover as well. I think it's just stunning. So simple, so delicious looking, very summery. So it's gonna be my second book. I'm so jazzed. I'm so freaking jazzed. This is great. And that is the only last name that I have that starts with Z for authors. So that's freaking perfect. Look at this beautiful stack. Let me center it a little bit more here. Hello, good looking. You are enticing me already. Okay, prompt number 3. Oh, but it's long again too. Ooh, book set in a small town. Girl, my prompts are popping today, popping! How do I know what books are set in a small town though? That's actually really difficult. How am I supposed to know? I am gonna be a little biased here and pick up books that I know I want to read in August, and let's just see if they're set in a small town. So first is Call Me By Your Name. I feel like, at least in the movie, it was in a smaller town, but I could be really wrong. Cliffside Mansion on the Italian Riviera. Does that mean it's a small town? Debatable. I don't know. Okay, let's just put that there for now. Ooh, this is actually a pretty good option. I've been wanting to read a like horror mystery book, and this is The Night Sister by Jennifer McMahon. I read Winter People in 2020, maybe at the very beginning of the year, and I really enjoyed it. So this takes place in the Tower Motel, which is a thriving attraction of rural Vermont. Oh my gosh. Let's continue with the plot, because I'm not even sure what this is about. Today, the Tower Motel lies in disrepair, alive only in the memory of the 3 women, Amy, Piper, and Piper's kid sister Margot, who played there as children. They loved exploring the abandoned rooms until the day their innocent games uncover something dark and twisted that ruined their friendship forever. Now Amy stands accused of committing a horrific crime, and the only hint as to her motives is a hasty message that forces Piper and Margot to revisit the motel's past and the fate of 2 sisters who lived there in its heyday. And then it continues. So this is definitely an option. Again, there's another book that I really want to bring on vacation, and that is Wicked River. I want to bring this so bad because it takes place in the Adirondack forest, and it's a romantic getaway. It's this honeymoon couple, and then horrors begin to happen in the wilderness. I don't know if this one would count because it's in the wilderness and it says the isolated back country. Shoot, I want to read both of these so bad. I've been missing like a horror in my life, and both of these sound like horrors. If not, then they're definitely thrillers or mysteries. But does this one count though? Am I being too picky because it's being alone in the woods, and this one is actually in a rural town? Okay, I'm gonna be a good person here. I'm gonna be a good person, and I'm gonna go with The Night Sister by Jennifer McMahon, and maybe, possibly, hopefully, there will be another prompt that will allow me to read this, because I want to read this on vacation so bad. Like, it sounds like a page turner. It sounds like, why am I holding it like this? Like a total page turner, romantic getaway vibes. I want to make a prompt work for this month. If I get a wild card prompt, this one's gonna be my freaking go-to, okay? But for now, let's go ahead and do The Night Sister. I'm really excited. I picked this up pretty recently, I would say. I think maybe in like March or something from Goodwill. So I am really looking forward to this one. I really did enjoy The Winter People. So in the winter time, if you're looking for a really nice, like almost like historical fiction, bouncing timeline horror that follows women and families, I feel like Jennifer McMahon is really good at that. So Winter People, I do recommend. Ooh, look at that. I'm loving these colors. Every single one of them has this like pastel bluey color. Sour Heart has that beautiful like purple blue grapes on it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm so jazzed for this stack, y'all. Like, oh my gosh. Number 4. What am I feeling? Let's do this one. I'm a brat. Having a hard time breathing now. This prompt reads, longest book. I am an asshole. Why would I do that? Oh my god. But that's kind of good because the longer books that I have, like, I genuinely do want to read, but I'm kind of setting myself up for failure here. So let's take a peek at some of the long books I have. First is the Accursed by Joyce Carol Oates. Big chunky boy. I freaking love chunky paperbacks so much. Okay, wow, this is 667 pages. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. And we have A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Okay. Oh my god, this is so much bigger than I thought it was. In comparison though, I thought this one would be longer. This has a whole 200 freaking pages more than this book. Oh, I don't have a book that's as big as this one. Oh my god, I'm kind of pooping my pants a little bit. 814 pages, friends. 814. I've been really looking forward to reading this book because I've heard so many people say it's incredibly emotional, it's very difficult, it's very heartbreaking, and I've always just been really curious to see how I would react to it. But now I'm a little nervous. I did not realize this biatch was over 800 pages. Excuse me, sir. But that is definitely my longest book. I know I do not own another 800 freaking page book. So we're gonna add that to the stack. Hello. But it flows so well with that too. I'm gonna have a lot of reading. We're only 4 prompts in. I still have 6 more, but this is a really enticing stack though. I'm not gonna lie. I am liking this. I've been wanting to read A Little Life for a long time. Not bringing it on vacation though, I will tell you that. I don't want to be miserable on my trip. Prompt number 5, halfway through. Ooh, this one just reads literary fiction. Aha! Ha ha ha! Oh, I love that. It's kind of like just open to whatever the frick I want. I like that. I have a lot of literary fiction on here, so I'm gonna just gravitate to the books that I've been genuinely wanting to read. And for that one, I've been wanting to read this in the summertime, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It's gonna be Call Me By Your Name, Baby by André Ossimon. I've been wanting to read this. I picked it up in the winter time, brand new copy from my local independent bookstore. And also, I forgot to mention, A Little Life I found used at that same independent bookstore for $6. It's a pretty good deal, friends. I've been wanting to read this. I've been wanting to read it. It's pretty short. I've been just so curious. A lot of people either really love this book or they really hate it. I'm curious to see what camp I'm in. But yeah, this definitely sounds like a literary fiction. I've heard it's very beautifully written, but it still has a very, you know, character-driven plot, very sensual. And if you're not familiar, it follows a young boy, probably like in his early teens maybe, and his family is staying in this Italian Riviera mansion, and his father hires like an intern for the summer and a kind of a work colleague, and he is like in his 20s. So I definitely think that this book is romanticizing grooming, because the teenage boy and this over 20-year-old man have a romance for the summer. So I definitely think it romanticizes grooming, which is just not cool. And I do tend to not like books that do that. Like, it just kind of makes me uncomfy. So I am just genuinely curious to see how I'll feel about this book. But yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Let's just do Call Me By Your Name. Prompt number 6. Oh, young adult. Yet again, another just genre. I like it. Just very open. Young adult. Young adult. All right, let's see. What YA books do we have here? Oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna pick, actually. Legacy by Jessica Blank. This is a book that I found at Dollar Tree very recently, and I included it in my summer book haul video, so I will link that down below for you all if you're interested. But yeah, this is a book that I found for $1 brand new at Dollar Tree, and it follows this young girl, and it takes place in the 90s in Tacoma, Washington. Freaking grunge vibes. I love it. And she's kind of a bad girl. She's gotten into some trouble at school. She has this like very rebellious boyfriend, and then she becomes really obsessed and entrenched in this very radical environmentalist group, and it kind of talks about like what she's willing to do to protect the environment, to be part of this really kind of radical extremist environmentalist group. So I just think this would be a really good YA book. I feel like it's gonna be a YA book that is maybe easier to read, but still like packs a punch with the atmosphere, the ambience, the wilderness. I freaking love that. A lot of like moody teenage angst, which I freaking love as well. So I'm gonna pick Legacy. I think this would be a really fun read, and why not get to it sooner rather than later? Delicious! Okay, prompt number, what is this, 7? This one is tiny. I think it's a letter. It is. It's the letter K. What do I have that's a K? I don't have a book that starts with K. JK. I don't. I have I, J, and then L. That one does not apply to me. I'm gonna set it back behind here so I know I can put it back in my jar, because I might pick up a book that starts with the letter K sometime soon, and we want to reuse that prompt. Let's do prompt number 7 again. Ooh, yes! Bitch, buy a new book! Girl gets to buy a new book! I'm so excited! And this means I can buy myself a brand new book. I rarely do that. So rarely do that. I have known, ever since I made this prompt, I made it because I have a specific book in mind that I cannot find used anywhere, and that is Pisces by, what's her name? Melissa Brodman? I will put it down below because I honestly can't remember. But Pisces, I've been wanting to read that one for like at least a year. I think it came out in 2019 or 2020, and it's been on my want to read list for a long time. And I've added it to like every birthday wish list and Christmas wish list. And it's about time that I buy myself a copy, because I really, really want to read that book. It is like about a young woman who sounds like she's maybe a little wayward, a lot of aquatic elements, and then she apparently bangs a fish man, like a merman, and I'm really excited for it. I just love weird, quirky literary fiction like that. Like, it is 1000% my jam. Magical realism. What is happening? Is this in their head, or is it really happening in real life? What is fantasy? What is delusion? Freaking here for it. So I'm gonna buy myself Pisces before my trip. Oh no, now I have a lot of books here that I want to bring on my trip that I know I probably won't be able to finish in a week. But also I feel like that book would be a really good one just to bring to like a beach or something. So maybe I can treat myself to like one last summer romp, going to the beach, even if it's solo, and reading that book. I would love that. I feel like that just sounds like such a freaking mood and a vibe, and I'm so here for it. Cool. So I need to make a mental note then that I get to buy myself a new book. So that's fantastic. Prompt number 8. Wow. What? Ah, this jar is treating me. Ooh. BIPOC. Okay, that is awesome. So now I get to pick a book with BIPOC literature. So again, I like to read like own stories, so most likely be a BIPOC author. I have quite a few, but I don't know what one I want to pick. So I have 2 Toni Morrisons here, which I definitely want to get to, but I feel like, quite honestly, I'm not in the mood to read them right now. So I feel like they would probably be like my lowest priority. That sounds awful, but like, there will come a time when I want to read them, but I know it's just not this month. This month I still want like easier to read, summer kind of vibes, and for some reason those are not particularly calling to me. What else do we have? Again, we have the short stories by Caribbean women. That's an option, but I don't know if I'm in a short story mood because we already have a short story collection on here. We have Jam on the Vine, which I did not get to in my June TBR. And it's pretty big. It's a pretty big book, so I feel like I'm not gonna get to that one either. I feel like for the sake of how huge this TBR is already, I want to pick a shorter book. I definitely want to start picking shorter books as much as possible for these last two prompts because these are quite big, and now that I get to buy myself a book that I think might be a little bit larger, maybe around the 200-300 page mark, I want to let's do these last three prompts with like the shortest books I possibly can, because that would make me feel so much better. So I think for that I'm actually going to do a collection of poetry, which is Lighthead by Terrance. This was also included in my summer book haul video, and this is a collection of poetry that I found at Goodwill, and this was a National Book Award winner when it was published in 2010, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 2010. I'm just really excited for this one. I'm so looking forward to it. I've never read anything by Terrance. I honestly never heard of this book or this author before I saw this one, but just from like glancing through it, I feel like his writing style is so incredibly up my alley with poetry. I'm not a big poetry reader, but when I want to read poetry, I feel like this is the style that I kind of want. So yeah, I am really excited for this. I am so excited. And what makes it extra exciting to me is that my copy is actually annotated by the previous owner as well. I freaking love that. Yeah, I think his way of words is really gonna wow me. From just skimming through this book, I can already tell that his writing style is just so on par with what I enjoy in general. So I'm gonna add this to the pile. I'm so excited for this one. Prompt number 9, we have shortest book. That's perfect. That's what I just said I wanted to do. Thank you, Jar. I feel like it's like listening to me. I feel like right now I actually don't have a lot of short books. I really thought I did, but I think I read most of them last month for this month in July. I read a lot of freaking short books. I have some like YA or like more like middle grade books. Let's just take a peek. So here we have From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. This is 162 pages. So this one's even shorter. This is Go Ask Alice. Found this 50th anniversary edition, which I think is really cool. It is kind of grimy. Not very good for like sweaty hands. But yeah, it's like almost like this pocket-sized kind of journal, and it is only 158 pages. So it is shorter than this middle grade book. So that seems to be the shortest one so far. Let's keep peeking here though. Tuck Everlasting, which was included in my July TBR, 139. Oh, it might be Tuck Everlasting. It's gonna be Tuck Everlasting. That's my shortest one. And the page I just turned to actually says, at the dawn that day in the first week of August, and then it goes on. So that actually might be a really good one for August because it takes place in August. I love reading books that take place at the same time that I'm reading them. It just adds an extra element of excitement to me. So this is the shortest book that I own. So let's go ahead and add this to the pile. Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. I found this one severely water damaged at a used book sale yet again. And the last prompt, my friends, can you believe we're here already? Last prompt is we have the letter P. Do I have a letter P? I do. I have 2 books, but I know which one I'm gonna pick. So the 2 books that start with the letter P are The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara, I will already be reading a Hanya Yanagihara book, so this is a no. It's very big. This one really intimidates me, much more than A Little Life. But the only other P book I have, I shouldn't say that, P book, is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I got this at the same time that I bought Call Me By Your Name at the same indie bookstore. They're both brand new because I could not find used copies, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while. So many of you have like hyped this up for me, so expectations are high. But I do know myself, and I know that I tend to like not prioritize more classic books, quote unquote, in TBRs. It's a really bad habit I have, but I do. Like, it's just something that intimidates me. I feel like I'm not gonna fly through it, and so I just kind of like put it really low on the priority list. So I feel like that's gonna happen again this month, especially when I have so many like more thrilling kind of like literary fictions here. But we're gonna add it to the pile nonetheless, and that is The Picture of Dorian Gray. Also, I love this edition. I really love this copy. So let's go ahead and add that as well. Oh my sweet goodness, my friends. Here is our beautiful August TBR stack. Next step is for me to go out to my indie bookstore and get the Pisces. I'm super excited for that. But this stack is lovely. Like, just aesthetically, we have two yellows, but then in between is just this beautiful pastels, like blues and grays and pinks. Like, this is so freaking beautiful. This is lovely. And there are so many books in here that I've genuinely just been like waiting for the opportunity to read. So hot diggity dog, I'm a happy lady. Ah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna be bringing so many of these with me on vacation. I'm so excited. So thank you so incredibly much for being here with me, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your thoughts if you've read any of these, if you have any tips. Specifically for A Little Life. If I do end up being able to read that this month, which I'm hoping I do, I will most definitely be doing a dedicated vlog for that because I really want to know how I feel about it. And it might make me cry, and that would be kind of like a first in my reading experience. I don't cry. So wish me luck, friends. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all so incredibly much, and I'll see you all again very soon for my next video. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye!